fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Diego Castro. Senator Bato de la Rosa hits the European Parliament for allegedly forcing Western standards upon the Philippine government. This after what de la Rosa described to be an intense meeting between the European Parliament Subcommittee on Human Rights at Senate Committee on Justice and Human Rights. During the meeting, the Parliament expressed hopes that the International Criminal Court's investigation into the bloody war on drugs would push through. The senator said he was forced to raise his voice after the Spanish delegate questioned the resolution which sought to defend former President Rodrigo Duterte from the ICC.
Bakit naman pati yung pa-file ng resolution ng isang senador, questionin pa niya? That is too much of tinkering with our internal affairs. Human rights violations were committed by your people for 300 years. Ngayon, you are going to lecture us about human rights? How dare you?
The heads of the respective committees, however, recall the discussion differently.
Kasi yung taga-Spain, may interpreter. Kailangan talagang magtaas ng boses yon kasi hindi marunong mag-Ingles. So yung interpreter, papasa yung mic, lalakasan yung boses. So wala naman taasan ng boses.
I would say it was not tense, but it was open and a critical discussion that in the end I think was more constructive than tense.
Defense Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr. spoke with his U.S. counterpart Lloyd Austin over concerning developments in the South China Sea. Among those discussed by the two defense chiefs is the recent incident in which China pointed a military-grade laser at the Philippine Coast Guard ship. Austin reiterated U.S. commitment to support the Philippines' lawful rights in the West Philippine Sea. Austin and Galvez also discussed proposals to deepen operational cooperation and enhance the shared security of the two nations. Meanwhile, the Philippines and Australia are considering joint patrols in the West Philippine Sea. Australian Defense Minister Richard Marles confirmed this in a joint press briefing with Galvez. The two discussed plans to strengthen security ties, and one way to achieve this is through joint maritime patrols in the disputed waters.
As countries which are committed to the global rules-based order, it is natural that we should think about ways in which we can cooperate in this respect. And so we did talk today about the possibility of exploring joint patrols, and we will continue that work, and we hope that that comes to fruition soon.
A farmers group is warning of the negative impact of RCEP to the agriculture sector following its ratification at the Senate. But economic managers maintain the trade deal will benefit the economy. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez with a report.
20 senators voted in favor of the RCEP, the biggest free trade agreement in the world. 10 countries in ASEAN are members of the RCEP, as well as 5 free trade partners: Australia, China, New Zealand, Japan, and South Korea. The RCEP allows an increase in more relaxed trade between member states. That's through the lowering or elimination of tax or tariffs in exported products except for rice, sugar, onions, and some kind of vegetables and meat. Despite this, Senator Risa Hontiveros voted against the measure, citing losses in potential revenues.
It would lose tariff revenues of US $58 million per year. The calculations for me are simple, Mr. President. Dapa na po ang ating agrikultura. Hindi pa tayo nakakaahon sa pandemya. This is not the time for RCEP.
Presidential sister and Senator Amy Marcos, on the other hand, abstained, citing how the measure could affect farmers and fishermen.
Pahintulutan ninyo akong hindi lumahok sa botohang ito. Di dahil umiiwas sa katungkulan, kundi hanggang sa panahong ito, bigo pa rin ang nakararami sa bukid.
Still, more than 2/3 of the chamber voted in favor of the trade deal. Government officials supported their decision. In last night's JCI Economic Forum, Trade Secretary Alfredo Pascual underscored the RCEP's benefits.
Our efforts to industrialize the country and to increasing the size of our economy through trade. And RCEP opens that possibility. RCEP is not a magic deal. It signals only the start of a competitive process. Our industries must compete to be able to harvest the full benefits of RCEP.
But according to agricultural group SINAG, the Philippines is not yet ready to enter the deal.
Yung buong konsepto kasi ng pagpapaliwanag ng ating government is that if you don't join, we lose the opportunity. Ang sinasabi natin, ang pagsali ay hindi nakabatay sa unahan. Ang pagsali ay nakabatay sa kahandaan. Unfortunately, we have not prepared for the past 30 years.
SINAG believes that even without the RCEP, the Philippines can still be attractive in terms of trade by lowering tariffs. But for the National Development Authority or NEDA, the RCEP can help boost the country's economy.
So, by being a member, we are saying to the world that we are ready for business, we are welcome here, we play the rules of the game, and your investment is safe with us. Yung mga concern naman na ma-disadvantage yung some sectors natin na agrikultura, hindi totoo yun. Yung mga agrikultura natin ay well protected.
Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez, we are One News.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. The days of traditional jeepneys are numbered. The government is going full steam ahead with its PUV modernization program, and jeepney operators and drivers have until the end of June to consolidate. Gerard De La Peña with the details.
Victor feels that his 4-decade career as a jeepney driver is about to end. The LTFRB has set yet another deadline for jeepney operators and drivers to consolidate and modernize their units. This time, it's final. Jeepney drivers like Victor need to be part of a cooperative or corporation before June 30. If not, their franchise will end and they will no longer be allowed to ply their routes. This is difficult for Victor, especially when he only purchased his jeepney 2 years ago and has not yet recouped his investments. He said he can't afford to buy a modern unit which is 20 times more expensive than his traditional jeepney.
Sa akin, siyempre, hindi maganda yun dahil kasi ang hanap buhay namin, hindi naman kami makakakuha ng sinasabi nila na modern dahil sa taas. Hindi namin kakayanin. Kaya siyempre, kung talagang mawawala itong hanap buhay namin, siyempre, malungkot. Di ba? Wala na, hindi ka na paano yung gastusin namin? Pangailangan ng mga anak namin sa bahay.
The LTFRB's directive does not necessarily put an end to traditional jeepneys that are practically icons of Filipino pop culture. Franchises of jeepney operators will be extended up to the end of the year if they will be able to consolidate before the deadline. If not, these units can be put to personal use and not as public transport. This is the 4th time that the LTFRB extended the deadline for operators to consolidate since the program's launch in 2017.
Binigyan pa ng pagkakataon yung mga individual operators na hindi pa nakakapag-form or nakakasali ng juridical entity or co-op or corporation para makasali sila hanggang June 30. Yung iba naman po na hindi talaga na mag-avail doon sa modernization, mayroon pong another component na po yung social support na binibigay po ng gobyerno, ng Department of Transportation sa kanyang LTFRB. Ito po yung nasa DOLE at saka yung nasa TESDA. Meron po itong fund na naka-allocate para po tulungan yung mga drivers, operators na mag-decide to go out of the transport industry.
The LTFRB said that about 60% of public utility jeepneys in the country have already consolidated. However, the process is not a walk in the park. Operators at the Catolo Transport Cooperative in Quezon City said that the application took years to get approval. Each operator also had to shell out 40,000 for capital, while drivers need to pay 16,000 pesos each to join. Getting the loan for the initial 6 modernized units, which cost more than 2 million pesos each, is also difficult.
Marami pong proseso, kailangan pa ng medyo malaking pondo. Pero may pondo lang po kami nakalaan. Kaya lang talagang parang marami pa pong nauna sa amin.
The Transportation Department earlier called on interested parties with scrappage facilities to get accredited for the proper disposal of old and dilapidated jeepney units. For News 5, Gerard de la Peña, we are One News.
Here are other headlines we're keeping our eyes on. The Makati Police has launched a manhunt operation for the suspects in the killing of a New Zealand tourist. Nicholas Peter Stacy was shot dead along Fillmore Street on February 19 by 2 men on a motorcycle who robbed the victim and his girlfriend. President Bongbong Marcos was referenced in the latest episode of the American game show Jeopardy! The participants in the show were asked about a country with a president who assumed office in 2022 and has, quote, taken so many trips that a play on his name, Ferdinand Magellan Jr. One of the contestants got the correct answer, which is the Philippines. The Senate adopts a resolution honoring actor John Arcilla for winning the Volpi Cup for Best Actor in the 2021 Venice Film Festival. This is for his performance as Sisoy Salas in the show On the Job, The Missing 8. And that's it for this hour. Join us again at 7:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register an account now at signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.